So today is one of the saddest days in the history of Manchester City, because today there has been a bombshell that has been announced, and that is that Kevin De Bruyne, in my opinion, the greatest player that has ever played for the football club, has announced that he will be leaving at the end of the season. And for me, I'm absolutely gutted. Kevin De Bruyne is, in my personally, favourite player of this generation. He has been such an unbelievable footballer to watch, so unique in the way that he plays the game, and I have been so lucky to be able to watch him week in, week out for Manchester City, winning all of the trophies that he has for us. And to watch your favourite footballer in the world play for your football club for such a sustained period of time, 10 years, a decade, it's a privilege, and it's now coming to the end. And I think what we need to now do for the remainder of the season is rally behind this team, support the team to go and win this FA Cup for Kevin De Bruyne, because he is a club legend and he deserves the send-off of a trophy in the FA Cup final. And honestly, where do you even start with Kevin De Bruyne's Manchester City career? He comes in as a kid from Wolfsburg, a lot of criticism on his shoulders, signing for £50 million. And a lot of English pundits said that he was never going to make it. It was a ridiculous amount of money to spend on Kevin De Bruyne after he failed in England at Chelsea. And look what the Chelsea reject went and did in his Premier League career at Manchester City. 10 years of absolute dominance, 6 Premier League titles, second of all time in the assisters column for the Premier League. And on top of that as well, he has the most assists per 90 minutes as well in Premier League history. An absolute genius of a footballer. And that's not even talking about, by the way, winning 4 Premier Leagues in a row, which has never been done before. And then as well, winning a treble, which has only been once done before by Manchester United. And then on top of that as well, we also broke the points record, 100 points in a single season, which he was the one that got the iconic assist for Gabriel Jesus. It was a wonderful ball over the top to get us that 100-point mark in the final minutes of the game. And honestly, over the last few seasons at Manchester City, over the summer windows, we've been sustainably losing club legends. We've seen Fernandinho go out the door, Vincent Kompany, we've seen Ilkay Gundogan, many other players as well that have won plenty of Premier Leagues at the club, are absolute club legends. Going out the door in the last few years, Sergio Aguero is another one. Nothing, and I mean nothing, filled me with the same level of sadness that I felt when I saw that notification pop up about Kevin De Bruyne announcing that he was going to leave the club. And in my opinion, he is the greatest midfielder to have ever played in the Premier League. And I know obviously the debates will now continue to rage on until the end of time between Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Kevin De Bruyne, Patrick Vieira, Roy Keane, all of these unbelievable midfielders to play in the Premier League. But I truly believe that Kevin De Bruyne is number one out of those pile. No one, and I mean absolutely nobody, had the passing range, the vision, the ball striking, the creativity. Everything about his game was absolutely mesmerizing, and in the final third, I don't think we've ever seen a midfielder as creative and as effective as Kevin De Bruyne. And weirdly enough, I don't know if I'm alone on this one, but I actually had not only the feeling of sadness when I saw the news about Kevin De Bruyne leaving the club, but I actually had this element of gratefulness where I was able to watch the best midfielder in the world over the last decade consistently, every single game, every single assist, every single goal, every single moment of beauty in which Kevin De Bruyne painted in the Premier League, I was witness to. And I'm so grateful to be able to have witnessed that week in, week out. And I genuinely believe, and I know this is going to sound wild to some people, I believe that behind Thierry Henry, Kevin De Bruyne is the greatest player, the second greatest player in Premier League history. And I think probably my favourite goal that he ever scored for the club, and I think a lot of fans probably agree with this one because I've seen it on social media, is the goal he scored against Real Madrid. The beauty of the strike in which he took to nestle that into the far left corner to get us back on level terms against Real Madrid in the season that we went on to win the Champions League at the Bernabeu. It was such a magnificent moment, and I think that really encapsulates what Kevin De Bruyne was about. Big moments, affecting big games, turning up for Manchester City when we needed him. Not just the quality, but also the personality as well. I'm going to miss him so much. And I can't believe we're now at the point in time where it's over between Manchester City and Kevin De Bruyne. There was an element of me that thought he was going to sign an extra one-year contract to stay at the club next season, play a bit part role. There were a lot of reports talking about how he was going to play a bit more of a bit part role with a contract extension next season, and then he would leave the club after the World Cup. That is not happening. I don't know how it happened. I don't know if it was the club not offering him the contract he wanted, or if it was just him kind of wanting to move on from the club and explore maybe new options for the the remainder of his career. I mean, he's given Manchester City all of the best years of his career. He's now 34 years old. So even if it was his decision, there are no grudges held whatsoever. I am so thankful for what he's done for the football club, the memories that he's given to the Manchester City fan base. And yeah, there's not really a purpose to this video. I'm just kind of airing my thoughts. And just kind of giving respect to Kevin De Bruyne's career at Manchester City. But this is a monumentous moment at Manchester City in terms of the guard shift. Now, there's a lot of Manchester City players in those old squads, those legendary squads that came through at the beginning of the new Manchester City era, the one that I kind of grew up in. And they're all gone now. All of them are gone. Kevin De Bruyne was the last of those players. He's now gone. So it is going to be a changing of the guard. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of movement in the summer with transfers coming in. So there's going to be a lot of change at Manchester City coming in the next couple of years. I'm excited, but also at the same time, seeing players like this leave, it's never nice. And obviously, Kevin De Bruyne, one of the greatest players of all time in the Premier League. In my opinion, he is second, the greatest midfielder of all time in the Premier League, in my opinion. And I genuinely believe he's up there in the category of Zidane as one of the best attacking midfielders in the world. And I would go as far to say I would hold him just slightly ahead of Zidane. But I know obviously some people would think that's mad. But yeah, it's over between Manchester City and Kevin De Bruyne. I'm extremely upset, as so is probably every other Manchester City fan. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. An unbelievable career. We're going to miss him so much. And the one thing we have to say, he's unreplaceable. Doesn't matter if we sign Florian Wirtz in the summer. He's unreplaceable. We're never going to replace Kevin De Bruyne. So yeah, today's a really, really sad piece of news in terms of Kevin De Bruyne leaving the football club. But also, we got to look forward to the future now in terms of the players that maybe we can bring in. But yeah, this is just a little bit of a sporadic video, just kind of reacting to the news of Kevin De Bruyne. Obviously, it has shook not only the Manchester City fan base today, but the Premier League. As the Premier League will be losing an icon of it over the years. The best player in the last 10 years in the Premier League. I'd hold him above Salah. 2 PFA Player of the Years. An unbelievable player. And yeah, let me know what your guys' favourite moment of Kevin De Bruyne at Manchester City was. Hit that like button if you do want to boost the content in the algorithms. And yeah, subscribe if you did enjoy the content. I'll be bringing more going forward. And thank you for watching. Peace.